don't know what's going on here. Ah, man, this is always a trip. When I come on here, it's always a trip to get on here. I always have to play around with it, and play games. I got down to how they let you on here live, but I don't know. Right. I misspelled communism. I did that. And okay it. That's different. They always have to okay it. When saying something wrong. Oh, God. If you read the 10 Planks of Communism, it always says, hey, get them into sexy books and into sports and make sports on our mind while we manipulate the background as if, oh, it's like the wizard behind the curtain. That's exactly what's going on. I don't know if people really realize that what's going on behind the curtain is exactly that, behind the curtain. And then they did all this, there may be a terrorist attack on the Super Bowl. Well, the only thing that would be a false flag, because they do that very well. And I don't think anyone's believing it. If anything happens at the Super Bowl tomorrow, guarantee it's a false flag. It's an inside job. It's whatever. There's something going on there where they want to take our attention off of all the problems of the world, abomination care and the rest of it, and put you out there in the spotlight and let you see all the horrors they can create. And they do this stuff. They do it all the time. It's a natural thing. It happens. Witnessed it several times since 9/11 was an inside job. Everybody knows that. It's a fact now. I mean, we had the demolition people come out and say, Building 7 fell in its footprint. It was a demolition job. No doubt about it. There's no questioning it when you have the experts come out and go, I do that every week or whatever as a demolition crew. We bring buildings down in their footprints. That's our job. them following their footprint. And the fires are minor and everything. And oh well. And now they have the mainstream media out there pumping up terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. You know, I remember watching the Nostradamus film back in the day when it had Orson Welles, you know, the actor doing the narration, and actually he was the commentator for the entire thing. And he actually was sitting there when he got to a certain thing that Nostradamus said that in the future there would be terror, 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 terror. You know what? That's all I ever hear now is terror, terror, terror. There may be an Al-Qaeda under your bed. The toilet may be under your bed now. The Al-Qaeda, as they said, which is a fucking slang word that became so ridiculous. They had to change it to ISIS and other words because it became so obvious that it was just a lie. It was just a lie. And they got all these other actors in the White House and stuff now. We're being theatric. Think about it. It was Shakespeare, was it Shakespeare said? Yeah, he said that the world is a stage and we're all actors on it. Well, we got the biggest actors playing out the role right now in Washington District of Criminals, along with Israel and the rest of them out there that go along with, we got to keep having wars. You got to send your children off to the bayonets of our enemies. And we're going to make you want that by creating terrorism in our own states. Yeah, that's what's coming down to. I know it. And sports day's coming up. The big sports day. Right. Oh well. I decided just to get on here for a little bit. I figured this late at night I'd get a little bit of an audience since there was nobody on earlier. I mean, I went through the Hangouts and Natalie didn't show up for the last couple of days. I hope there's got to be a word that doesn't say he or she, it. I hope, no, I don't want to say it. I want to say, I hope she doesn't have any problems. She hasn't been on a couple of nights, and well, she is a transgender, sexual change, and other things. But I usually have a fun time on there arguing between, religion and, I guess, atheism and other topics. That's a fun channel. Is Nadia Chambers, and it's a fun channel to be on when you have people on there and you're all, I mean, she just kind of passes out and lays down, and we have Addy on the channel, and that's usually what's happening. But I haven't heard from her in the last couple of days, and I'm worried that something may happen, something got critical. She has dialysis and everything, and it's not, you have to feel sorry for any human being if you have a conscience. I mean, any human being out there. And this being Saturday before the sports day or the Super Bowl, I decided to just do a short transmission. If I don't get anyone on here, at least I put up a video about this. And, I can talk topics if you want, but, there's plenty of topics out there to talk about. There's all types of strange things. I did my taxes on TurboTax. Oh, what a wonderful thing when you got to the end and you had to choose an abomination healthcare subject. And they didn't have veterans on there. The VA's not listed on there. But I know as a veteran, I checked with the administration, if I'm a veteran assigned into the veteran administration, I don't have to take the health care, but they didn't give that an option to see if I'd be penalized for it, though they said that they would not be penalized because the Army came out and said no. And they are part of the VA, and they said, no, we're not going to allow this. That was back in 2012. I don't know if they changed it or not. I want to know if anyone else knows anything about that, who's a veteran, that they can actually still penalize you if you don't get these insurance companies like Anaheim and Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and pay extravagant $500 a month premiums for having that insurance. I really don't want any insurance. I really don't need it. I'm a self-practitioner of my own health, and lots of people are, and we shouldn't have to be forced into this. I got to a point where I was saying I was going to use my father's death as a means of saying, well, I didn't have the money, but I changed my mind, just kind of just shut it off. And I'm saying, I shouldn't have to give an excuse to the IRS why I shouldn't have to give them money so they can go ahead and lend it back to our government to go out and have wars of destruction across the world. And that's basically what it is. It's a money thing for the IRS to lend out at interest to the government and put us beyond $33 trillion in debt. That's the total cost right now. Our government owes. That's our government owes. We don't owe anything. We didn't give our consent to it. I mean, it didn't come to a vote. It never came to anything that we would vote on, which it should have been, that we wanted this system. If you're a Mexican or a foreigner, you don't have to pay it if you're over here illegally. An illegal Mexican, that is, not a legal working Mexican, because you fall into the IRS trap. But the ones over here that are illegal, they don't even have to pay a penny into it. They get it for free, no matter if they're making $22,000 a year or more. They don't have to pay into it. Isn't that just great? Isn't that America? That the people who actually were born here and work here have to have a forced on insurance that they don't even want. A lot of them, or the ones that did have insurance through their company, is being shut down and they have to go to the Obamacare insurance. Those are questions to be asked tonight, and those may be what I'm leading up to in this Saturday before the sports day Sunday. If they're not feeling they're getting enough money out of our pockets that we don't have money to give, they may just false flag it and throw us into World War III. Russia did it. China did it. Oh my God, now Argentina is trying to get nuclear weapons. No, they're after the mineral wealth. You notice the only people they go down and defend, and even the Middle East, is the ones that have mineral wealth. It has nothing to do with anything. And I've always been amazed by that. I'm amazed by the MSM just going out of the way, the mainstream media. They're paid and bought, and they are the mouth of Orwellian's universe of, we gotta go to war over here, to Oceania, and we gotta go to war over here to the Asian, was it Asian Annie or Asian? It's all in the books. It's all in the book. It's like a script that they're following. It's not like it's real or anything. It's like Wag the Dog. The whole thing I see in reality today is Wag the Dog. If you ever got to see the movie, you'll understand. There's certain performers out there that are orchestrating scenarios to us through the news and everything. And the news may not be totally guilty of all this, but they're going along with whatever the government says. The government says the sky is purple with green spots. You gotta go along with that. You gotta go along with that. And you go out and look at the sky and it doesn't have green spots. You go, huh, it's got green spots. even though they're not there. I mean, that's how brainwashing TV is. I always mentioned Movie Network from the 70s, where it had Bill, and Bill would go out and say, I can't do anything about the oil prices or anything else. I mean, he has a truthful speak in there. And he comes out and says, you know, you should just go up to your window and open it up and yell as loud as you can. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. As loud as you can. These are the things that we're under right now. We're under delusions and misrepresentations. And I mean, the only time you get true news is probably just your local news when they're talking about a traffic accident on certain highways and murders in this certain neighborhood. And that's probably the only true thing you're hearing on the news. After that, it's all speculation that they're telling the truth. And I don't know if you can get on here, but I see 2 viewers. Come on in and make your mark. Be in on the news. This is Saturday night, and this is Saturday before the big sports day, where the Super Bowl is going to happen, and these teams are going to come together, and you're going to have all your attention on that. And that's going to be one of the biggest police state things that ever happened so far. Last year was really bad. This year they got x-ray machines you have to walk through. I don't know how many people are getting leukemia and cancer and stuff going to the Super Bowl this year. And there will just be more money for the pharmaceutical companies who are out there just waiting and wringing their hands going, more money. They're all going to be start coming in, and they're going to start getting cancer treatments from their insurances. And then we're going to be billions and zillionaires. And, I mean, oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's definitely true. I mean, when the 1%ers own 222 trillion dollars in of half the world's wealth, and the 1%ers own that. You think they're going to care if we rise up after they take everything they can? Hell, they all got yachts, they got airplanes, they got jets, they got whatever they need, and they're fully loaded with supplies and everything. And there's this go off to some country like New Zealand or somewhere out in the U.S. when everything collapses. And we're going to be in big trouble when everything collapses. We're going to be in big trouble because there's going to be all types of chaos. Because everyone's going to be, I don't know how many people are really brainwashed by MSM. I don't even watch them anymore. Every time I watch them, I can see the acting going on. I can see how they, when they talk to each other, and even local news, they have teleprompter behind them, and it's telling them what to say to each other. They don't come up with this stuff out of the top of their head. They're actually, it's all pre-planned. It's all written. It's a fact. And to them that they're reading whatever, you know, they're actors. They're actually stage actors, news reporters on TV and everything. They're actually just whatever the teleprompter comes up with. They just are good readers, just like Obama. He's a good reader off the teleprompter. He can make awesome speeches when he's reading off the teleprompter because he can take that and manipulate it to however his training is on manipulation of words and make you cry, laugh, jump up and down, whatever. Does that. It does that. They all do it. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the New World Order. They're playing the tarot card right now. I'm waiting for they're already introducing the next card because they're seeing the tarot cards getting burned out. Everybody's waking up that there's really, it's staged terrorist. And they're hired actors to go out and do terrorism. And the next card is the stage alien attack, where, well, we probably have a secret space force out there. It's probably not unknown that we either back engineered technology or we actually came up with it through scientists that were suppressed, and they took their ideals away after killing them, and you know, and they got all this technology, and it's all out there, and it's coming down the pipe, and we're just not going to be ready for it, and that's going to give us a new fear, the alien attack. We all got to join together to fight against the aliens up in the sky and stuff. Well, how do you fight an entity that's interdimensional and not really here? That's probably the true aliens that are on our planet, and they've been here for hundreds of thousands of years. They've been here. They used to be called elves and fairies and all types of names you've heard, and fairy tales and everything, and they're subdimensional. I've watched a documentary where this guy went out and videotaped UFOs, and at the same time there were these entities in the trees and everything, and he slowed them down frame by frame. This is the most amazing thing I ever seen, frame by frame. And as he's seen it, you could see that the creature morph from different shapes, look like a person, look like a big-eyed creature, and its eyes were moving around and stuff, and you could see them on frame by frame. It was just amazing what he caught on his research. Another guy was doing orbs, but yet he was catching almost the same exact thing. But these orbs, when he recorded them, was in dead winter. I mean, dead winter like it is now, 20 below zero. There's no insects flying around when you're doing these videos, because no insect can live in 20 below temperatures or even the 20s. And most of them are hibernating in the 30s. What do you think bats go to caves and hibernate during the winter time? Because there's no food out there for them. I mean, they may come out occasionally when it gets up in the upper 30s and 40s, and some insects react and come back out. But otherwise, bats don't come out in the wintertime to feed, because they know there's no insects out there. This is stuff that you need to know when you're dealing with this phenomenal stuff out there, as well as the government's nonsense out there of weather is getting warmer. And I go outside. Even today was the most amazing day of chemtrails I think I've ever seen. They were flying back and forth so many times, and I watch daily. And why is the air traffic so busy today? Oh, maybe it's the Super Bowl. Everyone's going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, but why are they going north and south and east and west, and they're just all over the sky, leaving these trails from horizon to horizon, and they spread out, and they cause this chem haze over the entire plain. And then the storms come in, and the snowstorms absorb this stuff, and it seeds them like seeding clouds. That's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing cloud seeding going on. And I know a lot of people don't go into that and don't even understand it, but I was a child. I've never seen this type of cloud cover before. I mean, it may be they're using a different fuel combination, but that's suspect too. If they're adding something in the fuel that's causing this hazing to cut the sun's light out and cool the planet, maybe that's driving us into an ice age. And that's something they want us into. An unnatural ice age. This is, some stuff that's out there. Unnatural ice ages created by spraying this stuff in the sky. I mean, there was this one video I remember, it was actually from a FedEx aircraft that was carrying cargo, and he's flying up above a large, I guess it would be a E747 or something like that, 747, or it was an E474. I mean, I saw a movie it was called, I don't think they were allowed to use the actual aircraft, but it's those jumbo aircraft. And it started shooting this stuff out from the wings and everything. And the guy was making comments while I was videoing, and he's telling his pilot, he's a co-pilot, and he's filming this stuff, and he's telling the pilot, you know, if we were down in that stuff, we'd be dead right now. And he said, well, yeah, probably, I don't know. Are you filming this? And he goes, yeah, I'm videotaping this. I'm going to put this up on YouTube. And he did. He put it up on YouTube, this pilot, and a FedEx jet flying above another jet by a couple of miles, because that's a legal limit. And this stuff would come and stop. And it was coming off the wings. It was coming out of the engine. It was doing everything. I mean, it was. And then there was the story of the mechanic who had to go in at a hub. He didn't mention the name of the hub, but he came in and said that I worked on this hub, and they had nobody there from Honey Dip, which is a company that takes care of the toilets on the aircraft. So they said, well, you're qualified enough to go in there and investigate, and sent him in. He said he discovered tanks in there and stuff, and he followed the lines, seeing where they went. He went outside and he looked at the static arresters along the aircraft wing, and there was holes in them. And he said they're hollow. Why would they have hollow hoses in the static arresters? And he had these pipes, these little pipes going out that direction on the wings and stuff. He followed as much as he could inside the aircraft. And he didn't really say anything, but yet he got called up and said that you should keep quiet about what you discovered in the Honey Dip system. And next thing you know, he's called in, he's laid off, and he was told never to put anything up on YouTube about this. But yet, after he kind of, I guess, was laid off again a second time, he came out with this video on it. And it basically shows they actually have the static arresters, these little rods that stick out the back to bleed off the electricity off the aircraft from flying through the air, because that, you know, this flying through air, you create static on the aircraft surface, and it bleeds it off. Well, they were spraying this stuff, and he said it was 2 tanks, and they weren't really part of the Honey Dip system at all. They were separate, and there was a black box, and the black box plugged in, and he figured it was an altimeter, that either it gets to a certain altitude or it has a certain timer in it, and it starts spraying these chemicals out of the back of the aircraft, whatever they are, and they cause those big chemtrails. That's why I call them. They're not contrails. Contrails go away. I've sit there and watched a jet almost the same altitude have nothing but if you hold your fingers up to 2 inches apart, as far as you can hold them up, that's how far his contrail was. But these other jets had a stream just flowing out, a big smoky stream from horizon to horizon. You got to question it. You really do. You got to question it. G. Edward Griffin has a few videos out there that you can actually see them on YouTube. It's because, what the hell are they spraying? Or what the heck are they spraying? I think it's what the hell they were spraying. And then there was another one after that one. I can't remember the name of that offhand, but it's really, it has all these scientists that he gathered together that study environment, study aeronautics and stuff, and they come forward and say, this is not natural, what's happening. The stuff they're spraying out with aluminum and barium in it. Now, barium is used on your binoculars. It's a toxic chemical, but it's actually baked onto the lenses, so it's not toxic on the lenses of your binocular. But it's a light increaser. I mean, today I went out and I was seeing 4 sundogs around the sun. I sure took a picture of that so I could put it up. But I just look at it as that's chemtrailing, because there was this haze across the whole sky. There was no blue sky, just this haze. And these sundogs were appearing because the barium and maybe the aluminum, the microscopic aluminum particles, which is a toxin if it falls down and you breathing it in. There's facts behind that. You can just Google, barium and aluminum oxide and chemtrails, and there'll be a bunch of information out there by scientific papers and everything saying, yeah, they're doing it. This is what they're up to. They're creating all this. They're doing climate change, making it look like it's CO2. My God, CO2 is going to kill us all if we don't pay a tax to it. Well, how in the hell is that going to help if CO2 is making everything greener? Now, there's a fact that plants actually absorb CO2 and make oxygen. And so it's a symbiotic relationship between humans and plant, the vegetative world, I guess, the plant world. And there's a symbiotic union between mammals and them. We put out CO2, they absorb it, get green, grow thicker and better. I mean, if it was really heat that was causing this, it should be the opposite way, because look at Mars. It's not that warm on Mars, and it has a high CO2 content. So you're looking at, if CO2 was a greenhouse effect, well, Mars should be warmer than the Earth because it has a higher content than the Earth does of CO2. But yet it doesn't, and it's a cold, cold place. I mean, I think they said that the temperature at the equator is 17 degrees Fahrenheit. So, during the summer. Well, 17 degrees Fahrenheit is actually survivable, because we have that here all the time, but we've been colder than Mars is, because the Mars rover took a temperature reading in the crater, and it said it was 17 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, during that time they took that temperature, it was nearly 20 below here. So now what is going on? We don't have higher CO2 than Mars. Mars has the highest CO2 level between our two planets, and it's warmer. It's warmer. Now, you have to look at the scale of it, and not where it happened, but the scale of it. We have polar, winds coming down, and they cause this stuff. They bring this wind down. It comes down. It makes things really cold. We're getting ready to get hit by a snowstorm up in the Maine and New York area again. Another one. It's going to skip over Ohio, just to the north of central Ohio, and they're going to get heavy snowfalls again clear across there, and that extends all the way back to Iowa. All the way back to Iowa, they're getting these snowstorms, and it's amazing that they can sit there and say global warming causes snowstorms. Global warming. Climate change. Yeah, I know climate change. It's called, spring, summer, fall, winter. We get 4 climate changes a year. Now, I don't know where they're getting this climate change thing from, but we go through climate change 4 times a year. It's just that the sun is the major factor in this. It has solar activity, and it's been really low, except for the sunspots that have been putting off these, like maybe an X sunspot and stuff, but it's not directed towards the Earth. None of this stuff is directed towards us, and the sun everywhere else is real cool right now, because we're going into a galactic cloud that Sirius is in and other stars around us is in right now. And we're starting to go into this galactic cloud, and it's cooling the sun down by the the gases of this cloud is calming the sun down as far as its temperature. So it's not brilliantly burning. It's being shuttled by this gases that's we're going through. And they said that could last, 200 years or so before we come back out of this cloud. So I'm just wondering, what are they talking about? This global warming created by humans. What are they going to do? Go pay the sun off? Give us your taxes. Al Gore says, give me money and I'll go pay the sun off and it will warm up again or cool off again or something. I don't know. It's cooling off. We're going into a 30-year ice age. And the scientists are now coming out and saying that everywhere. NASA, NOAA, they're all coming out and starting to say that we may be going into a mini ice age. But then they turn around when they're when they're throwing a bone or money, and they say, well, humans have warmed the earth. It was the warmest summer last year. Well, yeah, if you live in a city, yeah, of course it's the warmest summer we ever had, because they put all the thermometers next to the air conditioning units, and the pavement and everything warms up everything in the city. You go out and take a reading in the countryside, and it's the opposite. It was cool all last summer. And I think we had the average of 80 degrees. And we normally get up in the 90s and stuff for a period of time in July and August. And it didn't happen. It just didn't happen. We had a couple of days of 90s. We didn't even get to 95, I don't think, in Ohio. And it was really a cool summer last year. This happens. It's called climate change. It's called going into an ice age when the sun cycle didn't work out like they wanted it to. They thought they were going to have this super active solar cycle. And no, it didn't happen. It didn't occur. And now people are still believing anything that they say. I wouldn't believe nothing they're saying. They're saying there's going to be a terror attack at the Super Bowl. I'd say, yeah, if it's a false flag, they do it themselves to make it happen so we can go to war with X, Y, and Z. We need a war. That's the only way we can get out of this financial fault that we're in, because we created it as the banksters and Wall Street. Well, Wall Street's losing money big time. They just lost a lot of money on Friday, 200 points. That's a lot when they suddenly lose it. And then the, I guess they call them the protection, Wall Street protection things that throw money in there that make it rise up, make it look like, hey, look, it's coming back up again. I better throw some money in there. Well, a lot of people didn't throw any money in there. And so it didn't really rise that much because, it rose a few points. And it's because I think everybody's starting to realize that the open air casino and Wall Street is losing its steam, and it's going down the tubes. And that's what we're under right now, is a loss that's coming down the tubes, because they keep throwing the money in there. Every time it goes down and then a lot of money is gone, suddenly more money goes in there, but it goes in there to try to, it's a, what do you call it? There's a name for it, where they throw a lot of money in and then it drops because they took their money out. They pump it up. It's a pump and dump. There you go. The term just came to me, a pump and dump. They pump it up and then they dump it because everyone's making money. It has the money to do it. And it's basically inside trading, which is illegal. And they do this all the time. That's the reason the stock market hasn't crashed already. It sure crashed in 2008. But they kept dumping it. And now it's getting to the point where people who are playing the open air casino are starting to realize that this game is rigged and they're not playing it anymore. They're just pulling their money out and going to something else, properties or whatever, commodities, and they stop playing the game. So, I don't know. Anyone who wants to come in and have a discussion about this that knows anything, well, show up. I got the link. I believe I put the link in my Google site, and I have my chat open. You can chat. Remember, I reposted again in there. Apparently, nobody has seen it in my say something in my Google Plus account of Spellbinder00. Go just say hi, because it won't let me do it unless I just say something and then say paste. And it should be the same address. Wow, I only got, I wonder why it's in here. I had the other one in here. Ah, there it is. I'm going to compare them, make sure they're the same hangout. Okay, AP36YF. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, it's the same hangout. Just click on the link and you'll be in. Unless you just want to listen, and that's okay too. I just want to listen. Usually I have people come in and have a discussion. TJ should have been in here, but you know, being Saturday night, and he never showed up. Maybe out there, maybe trying to get in. I don't know. I just relinked the link up on my Google Plus page, and you should be able to find that. There's only one Spellbinder Firewolf as a symbol to it. And, I use Firewolf because I think it's so cool. It's kind of trying to think of the artist's name. I was checking out some of his stuff on Yahoo.com. He has this awesome artwork of how he shows it. It's used in Tool. If you ever listened to Tool, got into their CDs and stuff, they show this guy. It's all like you can see his glowing veins and everything in his eyes and his third eye. It's that artist. And this is kind of the same thing. It kind of reminds me of him, the artist that did all the work that Tool uses in their album covers. Some stuff like that. Anywho, let me go to some headlines until somebody shows up and ready to do this. These are headlines you may have missed on the G. Edward Griffin. And this is for this last Friday, which was yesterday. And as soon as I can get in there. Okay, everything else. Debt blowback, unfiltered news. Here we go. For this week. The Unfiltered News from the Reality Zone, published by G. Edward Griffin. I haven't done one of these in a while. It says the first article, 561 billion Pentagon budget planned. Advocates say real amount is 1 trillion. This is 7% above the last year. The Pentagon has avoided the sequestration mandatory cuts that were set forth years ago by drawing tens of billions from government slush fund accounts. RT 2015. January 30th. Video. The Seattle Police Department issued an apology for arresting an elderly man who was using a golf club as a cane. The officer claimed that the man swung the club at her, but the dash cam video on the police car shows that she lied. CBS News, January 30th. You can look these up. Just Google them. Seattle police go nuts at a peaceful march on Martin Luther King Day and can be seen randomly pepper spraying participants. A teacher shown in the video is suing the police for pepper spraying him as he was merely walking past them while talking on his cell phone. InfoWars, January 29th. Another related article. Video. Police departments are concerned that officers may become targets of stalking because their location can be tracked by a cell phone app. It's called Waze, and it allows users to publish traffic events, including police location, speed traps, sobriety checks, and more. Police want Google to disable the police tracking feature, but not the features by which the police can track everyone else. Goose and Gander. RT, January 29th. U.S. A federal judge ordered an investigation of 7 attorneys from the ATF Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms after learning they had misrepresented facts in the case against Jay Dobzian, a former undercover ATF agent. It appears that the ATF was attempting to punish him for previously suing the agency for failing to protect his identity as an undercover agent. This exposed him and his family to retaliation by the Hells Angels, which he had infiltrated on behalf of the government. AC Central, July 29. It's going in reverse order, if you didn't know. The first legislative act by Alaska's new Senator, Dan Sullivan, is a bill that would prohibit agents of the EPA from carrying guns. Now there's a gun control law that makes sense. Keep the agents from having guns. Huffington Post, January 28th. Video. In retaliation against Israel for its airstrike in Syria on July 18th that killed several senior Hezbollah members, Hezbollah fired a missile at an Israeli army vehicle, killing 2 soldiers. Israel responded by firing shells into Lebanon, which is the home of the Hezbollah militants. ODN. Related story, January 28th. A UN soldier from Spain was killed by Israeli fire in the Lebanon following the deaths of 2 Israeli soldiers by Hezbollah missiles. Spain's ambassador to the UN has blamed Israel for the escalation of violence. Newstalk, ZB, January 29th. Greece's new leftist prime minister, Alexis Tsipras, has put a hold on privatizing government-owned properties until the country's debt can be renegotiated. In response, financial markets are in turmoil and Greek financial holdings have plummeted. Government debt is 175% of its gross domestic product. Reuters, January 28th, 2015. Okay, there's a lot of Palestinian and Israeli news of both of them just going after each other because one's taking their land and the other is trying to defend it. Guess who's trying to defend their land from being taken? I'll leave that up to you. Okay, Palestinians who are homeless as a result of the destruction of Gaza following the war with Israel last summer destroyed a UN building in anger against funding cuts for the refugees. Russia Today, January 28th. Due to lack of funding, a follow-up article, the UN Relief and Works agency halted reconstruction of the homes of Palestinian refugees that were destroyed in the recent war with Israel. Many refugees are sleeping in rubble, and children have died from hypothermia. Arab countries in the EU and US pledged billions in aid to Farhi, but the UNRWA has received only 135 million. Other problems include Israel's blockade, which is preventing delivery of materials. Haaretz, January 27. UK, in the name of reducing global warming, which doesn't exist, the traffic congestion, which does, the government is proposing to require electronic devices in all cars that could remotely seize control over them. To sell the ideal, it's being said that this will reduce emissions and congestions. Later, it will be discovered that it can be used to selectively disrupt steering or braking or even turn off the engine. Nissan is currently developing a similar system to be implemented in Japan. InfoWars, January 27th. There's an accident waiting to happen if I ever seen one. Oh, we'll just turn his brakes off. Now we'll turn his, whatever, and turn his car off and while he's driving. Now, this is rather driving. It's not like, okay. U.S., a case of drunk drone driving. A drunk federal employee landed a small drone on the White House lawn. Naturally, Obama has called for new regulations over the private use of drones. New York Daily News, January 27. No, why don't you just punish the guy? It's in your authority and not worry about the drones. Really, people like those little drones. I don't mind having a little drone if I could use it to take a picture of my house from the air and stuff. That'd be all right, and have my own little photograph of my house from above out paying somebody, several $100s to fly over, and as he's taking pictures of everyone's house anyways. And I don't know, it's kind of neat to do it yourself, a lot of this stuff. Okay, Obama sent a political campaign team to Israel to help defeat Prime Minister Netanyahu in the country's March elections. Obama was angered last week when Netanyahu accepted the invitation from House Speaker John Boehner. Boehner. I only read that as how it's spelled. I can't see the airway. John Boehner, to address a joint session of Congress regarding issues relating to Iran. Obama opposed additional sanctions on Iran, but Republicans favor them. Newsmax, January 27. Oh, man. Let me go back here for a second. Okay. Anyways, there's news headlines you may not have heard. These things are out there. They're happening all last week. And I'm just on here reporting them. And here's one that needs to be kept. This is a keeper. Has a star next to it. The medical journal Clinical Infectious Diseases reports that measles often is contracted and spread by those who have been vaccinated against it. This is a report. The medical journal actually reported this. If you get the shot, and they're sitting there saying, well, your child hasn't been vaccinated before he goes to school or she goes to school, they're going to contaminate everyone else. Isn't that the other way around? The people that took the shot supposed to be protected from it, not the other way around, that they have to be protected from the ones that didn't take it. Somehow logic is not working here. This is groundbreaking news confirming from a mainstream source that MMR vaccines are not mentally effective, and two, those who choose not to be vaccinated pose no additional threat to those who choose to be. Green Med Info, January 27. A related story to this is Nevada. Korea Driscoll, a 5-year-old girl, died of the flu just 3 days after she was vaccinated. 3 days after vaccination, she died of the very flu. Wonder about that, don't you? Makes you wonder if the shot was how she contracted the virus in the first place. But you can be sure that no one in government or the media will be asking that question, even if it's not the case. The CDC admitted last week that more than 3/4 of the people who take the shot this year will still contract the flu. 3/4 of the people who take the shot will contract the flu. I have to emphasize that. They still are pushing everyone to take the vaccine. That has even been proven that it's from last year's batch, and the CDC came out and said it's not going to work on the new flu. It's out there. If anything else, after your body's immune system's burned out from the adjuvants, it's going to contract the new flu. So I've seen people do that, and I sit there and go, no, you can't take the flu shot. It's a kill. It's Daily Sheeple reports, January 26th. Yeah, that's one of them too. You can't believe anything this government says. A video, former CIA agent Jeffrey Sterling was convicted of all 9 charges brought against him for leaking information to a journalist about the internationally flawed nuclear weapon blueprints that were provided to Iran by the U.S. government. He will be sentenced in April. RT Today, RT America. Yeah. Greece held a snap election in a far-left group. Syriza won 150 seats and 1 seat shy of an absolute majority. Syriza campaigned on ending austerity policies, meaning a reduction in government spending for benefits that were imposed after Greece borrowed $270 billion from the the Troika, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and the European Central Banks and European Commission. Greece now must either comply with the Troika, renegotiate the loan, or exit the EU marketplace, January 26th. And they're probably going to just go away from the EU because they can't get anything from it. And other countries under the EU are having similar problems. They're going to say, well, we out too. We're going back to our own currency and start trading amongst ourselves. You know, wherever country drops out, we'll trade with another country that dropped out with their currencies. And they'll start building themselves back up. Got a central bank there that's charging interest on every penny that people make, and trying to find that 11th marble that doesn't exist in a 10 marble game. I mean, that's where it comes down to. The banksters want that 11th marble. It doesn't exist. That's why we have inflation and money's being printed out of, being printed enough that you'll be able to wallpaper your house when the fall happens, and you'll buy it for, maybe 10 cents, $100 worth of bills, and it's going to be nasty. It's all going to be nasty. Another article here that should be kept. U.S. emails from the head of the EPA in 2009 revealed that he directed the agency to shift away from pushing the global warming agenda with dying polar bears and melting ice caps, and switching to claims that children will suffer respiratory problems. This, too, is a phony claim. Smog and other pollutants aggravate respiratory problems, but greenhouse gases, including CO2, do not. The fraud never ends. It never ends. Daily Caller, January 26th. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Okay, I'm going to go through this and see what's very sad here. Well, I think that's it for this week's Unfiltered News. The rest of it's just stuff that you should know. If you don't, or you should be doing your research to find out, because you're being lied to and have been your entire life. They've been molding the reality around you, which is very easy to do. Well, it's 3:24, and I don't think anyone's coming on here. Like I said, I left a link. I mean, if they got to my channel alone and they're not able to see the group chat, it doesn't really matter if I paste it in there or not, because I don't think they can get on even if I paste it in there. I don't know. I did. I just pasted it in there, but I don't think you can get on. So it should be on my homepage on Google Plus and give you access directly into it. I don't know where else to post it at. I'm having a hard time getting people on here sometimes. Other times I don't have any problem at all. I have up to 10 people on here and people waiting in line. Kind of like Nadia. It just happens. Sometimes you get an open link somewhere, other times you don't, and I don't know where to actually go to put the link. I mean, I don't know if I can go to YouTube and post a link or not. I'm not really sure. I can leave my page, go to YouTube, see if there's something on my homepage at YouTube, and post a link. I'm not sure. Well, that didn't help. Let's see, my channel. Okay, let me go to my channel and see if I can post a link there. See if it even shows me there. No, it doesn't even show me on there. I mean, it's really hard sometimes to get these things to come up. And I'm looking at my home channel. I need to figure out how to get rid of that link off here. Oh, live now. Okay, I can go there live now. And it's on my home channel. I'm going to have to go down here, share my thoughts. Say hi on there. Okay, it's on my YouTube. I go print on my YouTube channel since it's saying I'm running live, and paste the link. There it is. Post it. I'll definitely get people on that one because it sends it out to thousands of people then. And go check this out. Okay. Okay, you responded where? Talk about anything. I guess that is what they want me to do. Not really sure. Okay, I got it posted. I mean, it's posted at YouTube and also at my Google Plus. There's Spellbinder 00, which can be hard to find. I put Spellbinder 00 in Google and get 3,000 hits. It's pretty wild how long I've been on here. I've been on here since 2009 under that heading. And I'm pretty well popular on Google Plus, or Google, actually, google.com. just a regular search engine. I've been broadcasting off and on since 2009, so that makes what, 16 years? Wow, long time. I may have been on earlier. I may have been 2000 or actually it was in 1998, 99. I started my YouTube channel. I'm an ancient on here. Ancient on YouTube. Oh, well. It's been fun. I'm running out of topics. I'm waiting for someone to get on and ask questions or have a discussion. And how it is, you can only talk so long to the air, and then you want somebody to come on and talk with. And that's what I've been kind of waiting for. And really, I put these links up and have a hard time getting people on here at 3:30 in the morning. I'm probably only going to be on here another half hour, 45 minutes at the most. And I'm going to make it to bed. So I can get up and watch to see if there's a terror attack at the Super Bowl. And watch commercials. Commercials are always fun on Super Bowl day. And there's not much more. And you have the Super Bowl day, Saturday before the sports day, where everybody's all concentrated on Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that. Oh, the commercials are going to be interesting. I know GoDaddy put up a commercial at Wisconsin version, and they came out with a response on it and said, well, we actually adopted that puppy, one of our employees did, and it's happily adopted, and it didn't really come from a puppy farm. It came from a farm, but it wasn't a puppy farm, and, and they had to come out with it and correct it because everybody thought it came from a puppy farm, and that's how they were making it out, that this puppy was put in with these other puppies, and it turned out to be a totally different story when they came out with their article on yahoo.com. So that's where I get a lot of my non-important, you should absolutely know news is yahoo.com, because their news is so spread out. They're talking about everything. I mean, Yahoo's interesting news thing, because they'll talk about celebrities and TMZ stuff, and then they'll go to sports stuff, and they'll go into space and satellites and everything, and planets, extra planets out there, big planets. There's a Saturn that's 5 times the size of Saturn that has rings as big as a solar system or something. And you get all that news out there on Yahoo. Oh well, I don't know what's going on out there. I mean, I don't have any. Everyone's been saying this. And Satia even came out and said, what happened to everyone? Where's everyone at? There's nobody out here. It's like, I don't know. It got real quiet after Thursday. It just got real quiet. I was down to 3 people on Thursday, and after that, I think I was down to nothing. I mean, I went on. Searched through, and there was nobody on the hangout list that I knew. There was all new people on the hangout list, and a lot of them didn't have an audience either. I mean, they had an audience probably, but they didn't have anyone wanting to come in and discuss anything live. And it was kind of strange. I thought, well, that's kind of strange. There was some type of quieting before the Super Bowl or something. I don't know. Everybody's resting up so they can sit there and drink the suds down and eat whatever pizza bites and I saw that commercial. The pizza bite commercials, or popcorn, or hot dogs, and everything else. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what's going on. I mean, right now, I'm supposed to be having a snowstorm. I'm going to take a look at that in Ohio. So, let's see. I need to go here and go to my IntelliCast. So I can do that. Well, let's see what's happening. Oh, it looks pretty severe on the national map. There's some red down here somewhere. Oh, wow. It looks like Ohio's totally covered. I'm going to have to take a look at this. I haven't looked outside to see where the snow is. It kind of looks like, let me look here. I can't really zoom. I can pay him in zoom, but I don't want to do that. But it basically looks like around Columbia, we're getting ready to be missed altogether. They said that Central Ohio would probably only get about an inch. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. It's all going to go north up into Michigan, Chicago. All you guys are going to be hit hard. That's what it looks like here on the radar. Looks like a hard hit. It's supposed to snow throughout the day tomorrow, but let me go to the national map and see how big this thing is. Okay, we're going national map. I need to. Oh, I went to the United States. Back. Okay, now I'm going to have to play animation to find out how this is moving. There's a lot of moisture down in Mississippi and Arkansas, and it's going through, and it looks like that may come up and be the major problem tomorrow. And to all of Ohio, actually, and Indiana. That looks like it because it's swinging up out of the. Well, it's not really swinging up anymore. There's not much moisture left out of the Gulf once it swings up. But right now, it's 31 degrees outside. Perfect snow weather for it to stick. 31 degrees. And it's been that all day long. So whatever does fall in Ohio is going to stick. It's not going to be like it's not going to stick. We're Central Ohio. You look, Milwaukee, Arkansas, Mississippi. They're all getting a lot of snow out of this. Oh, yeah, we're getting the most that we're going to get right now. And then looks like probably about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we're going to get another swath of this. It may warm up. I'm not really sure what the temperature is. Let me go to current temperature, or I need to go to forecast temperatures. Go to hourly. See what happens here. Let's see. An hourly, we are getting Sunday snow, 90%. 9% snow on Sunday, 50% on Monday, and going 10% on Tuesday. Temperatures will be 35 on Sunday, so it's going to start coming down in this big, wet, sloppy snow. 23 on Monday, it's going to get cold and go down to 5 degrees. Tuesday, it's going to take a recap, go partly cloudy and 30 degrees. And let's see, it's going to be rain by 5 p.m. tomorrow or something. Wow. Snow, snow, snow. It starts turning a chance of rain. By 6 p.m. it's going to be all rain. Temperature will be 35. So I don't know. It may be rain, or it may be something else. By 11 p.m. tomorrow night, it will be 96% rain. So it's going to be 33 or 38. 33 is it feels like 33. It'll be 38 degrees. That's way above freezing. So yeah, it'll be all turning to slush. I'm not sure what's going to do the next day. I'll have an advance on here for Monday, unless I go to Monday. Okay, here we are on Monday. 99, 47. Okay, it's going to be rain at midnight on Monday morning. 39, 39, 37 at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 34, 30, turns back into snow showers, snow showers, snow showers, and the precipitation will be in the 52% by 7 a.m. It's going to get real nasty out there. That's what I'm saying. And it's going to be clear by 10 p.m. tomorrow, Monday. Or is it Monday? Or Sunday? Monday. Monday it's going to be clear by 10 p.m. Monday night. Wow. Then snow comes back Wednesday. Snow showers, 50%, 1 to 3 inches. They're saying in my area about 1 inch, and then less than an inch on Monday. So it'll be about 2 inches altogether, maybe. But up north of us, just north of us, about 25 miles of Columbus, they're going to get hammered. Everywhere there and north, they're going to get hammered with a great amount of precipitation. Wow. But otherwise, everyone else, Chicago, Michigan, you guys are going to get blanketed. I don't know. You may get 6 to 12 inches of snow easily. But where I'm at, it's going to be north of us, most of it. It's swung north is what happened. They had a chances. They were saying in the beginning that they didn't think it was going to go that far north. We could get 3 to 12 inches or something like that. And then another day later, they go, well, it's going to swing further north. And that's what it does look like on the maps as you see the precipitation going up. It seems to be swinging up northward. So it's going to be all across the northeastern coast again. And you guys already been slammed up there for a foot or two. And well, you got another one coming. Man. It's going to be like storm of the century up there in Maine. Wow. Amazing. I forgot where the football team's going to be. Where's the game going to be? I didn't find out. I haven't been paying attention much to it. There's been more important, stressing things than football. I'm not liking the commercial where it's all about football. You're driving down the road, you're thinking about football, and football's everything on your mind. And next thing you know, you slam into a football, damaging your football. Everything's a football in that commercial, insurance commercial. I thought that was kind of neat. Everything is football. Okay. Where is... Oh, yeah, I got Super Bowl kickoff. starts at 6:30 p.m. on NBC. And the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Okay, they're going to be down in a warm place. It's going to be the Patriots after they got caught with deflated footballs, really? And Seahawks. When they said they were going to do a double check on the balls and everything to make sure all the footballs have the proper pressure in them and everything at the time the game starts. I've heard rumor or theories that, you know, they may have been inflated when they're in a warm place to the proper pressure. And then when they were taken out in that game that the Patriots played last, it was real cold. So you know that warm air contracts a little bit. So maybe the balls became a little deflated by just temperature alone. But who knows? You know, it may not have been. You know, but who knows? But the Patriots in New England are going against Seattle Seahawks. And it's taking place in Glendale, Arizona. Man, everybody probably listening knows that. And you probably even know when the kickoff time is. 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Just checking up on that. Know if I should watch it. I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. I'll probably watch halftime just for the commercials. Because I'm really not into the 10 planks of communism and so forth. I'm not into reading sports because I see that's a issue that takes your mind off of what you should be thinking about and fighting against instead of sitting back and watching a game where your armchair football players and kind of like being war hawks and sitting in an armchair being an armchair fighting army warrior. They're going out there and doing it. I spent my time in the Air Force. I don't need to go back to it. Probably that's why I don't like sports. I was already involved in sports, the real one, with real weapons and real dangers. And that stuff is passe to me. Saturday before the sports day. Any comments? Anything? Any predictions? Is the Patriots going to take it? Or the Seahawks? That's the thing you gotta ask. The Patriots or the Seahawks? Who's going to take the game? Another question that came to mind. Is World War III going to start during the Super Bowl game? And everybody's going to be caught off guard? That's another possibility. No one knows. No one knows. Not for sure. Well, come one, come all. Just talk about the Super Bowl game or anything you want to. They want to talk about. Lines are open. Anywho, let's see. Let's go to Yahoo. See what the headlines are there. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Look at these headlines. Yahoo, they don't seem to have anything. Okay. Super Bowl games. Nothing. Nothing on Super Bowl games. Hmm. Hmm. J.J. Watt's obscures off-season home. All-pro defensive end won't be spending its time off a tropical location, opting to focus on training. Hmm. Really nothing. I'm amazed. Just for the Super Bowl game, and got an article, 10 epic snack stadiums. Okay. There ain't nothing on Super Bowl on Yahoo. That's amazing. Puppy Bowl 11 preview. Puppy Bowl 11 preview. Okay. Great Super Bowl dips are out there. From carrot hummus to classic guacamole, you'll be the hit of the party when you arrive with one of these easy spreads. 8 delicious spreads. Wow. That amazes me. There's really nothing on the Super Bowl here. Trending now, there's nothing about the Super Bowl. Huh. Interesting. Seahawks, WR's message. Pat's banished memory of '08. I mean, some of these, I'm not really finding anything on this. I guess a lot of people aren't that interested in the Super Bowl this year as far as media, this media. Hmm, no, nothing to write home about. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just 20 hours away or something. Super Bowl is about 20 hours away now. 12, 13, 14. It'd be about 14 and a half hours away. 15, 16 and a half hours. Wow. And there's nothing. There's nothing. It's all being kept quiet. Apparently, there's more stuff to be interested in. Hmm. Hmm. Going through here, and there's like, it's kind of neat that they're not focusing on football this and football that. And no makeup way of making your eyes look bigger. That was an interesting one. Oh yeah, the doomsday clock is set at 3 minutes to midnight. Just scientists say we are at the closest to destruction we have been in dozens of years. They explain why under Monday morning. Wow. Oh, everyone didn't know that Val Kilmer is undergoing tests for possible tumor. That's what the headline there is. Val Kilmer is undergoing tests for a possible tumor, his rep said today. The 55-year-old actor was undergoing treatment at the Los Angeles hospital, and it's precautionary is what they basically said. Okay. Oh, that's not. No, I'm not going to go with that. I'm not going to go there. I have no idea why they're doing that. What else is there? Okay. 9 beloved celebs that you should actually hate. Okay. What else is it? Jupiter Ascending, a closer look. With The Matrix, 1999, Wachowskis have made their mark in Hollywood by building a complex and intricate science fiction universe that operates on its own terms. The film follows Jupiter Jones, a house cleaner who, I go on in the article, that's just the headline. Okay. Why doesn't the Earth have rings? Early this week, scientists discovered Super Saturn, which got us thinking, why doesn't Earth have rings? Why don't we have Jupiter or Saturn rings? Jennifer Aniston was almost replaced on Friends. Almost. I mean, these are some of the headlines I'm going through, and it's like, really, this is what's popular. Nothing about the football game. Really, it's pretty blown away. I was thinking that they were going to just go all out on this, take our attention off, at least not on here. I guess on Fox News and the rest of them, they're probably pounding. Football games is what you got to pay attention to. In the Earth may happen tomorrow, but the football game, but not really. Really. New York Stadium with measles. Oh no, New York student. I misread that. I'm looking for something so much that talks about what they think the game's going to be and the outcome. It's unbelievable. Maybe I should go to sports. I had all stories, but let's go to sports and see what's happening. Hello. Yeah, I hear you. And welcome.
Hello?
James. Hello.
Yeah.
Chicken? Are you there?
Sure.
What's mine in? Is that mine in?
Yeah.
What's the saying out about, dude?
It's about whatever you want to talk about. But basically, tomorrow's football day. Let's think about football as you're driving
Oh
your
man.
car, and your
Oh,
car is a football, and you're driving your football, and you hit another football, and you cause an accident.
movie.
I remember that commercial.
Tits are like footballs.
I just keep thinking about that commercial I heard on the radio where it had the guy that does all those. What does he call himself? He does those commercials too, where he's talking about, well, you're driving down the road and you're thinking about the football season. Everything's a football. So you run into the back of a football and crash your football into it. That's the funny stuff that's going on out there. I mean, I've been trying to figure out. That's what I was saying. The day before Sports Day, I'm looking on Yahoo, and they have nothing about it, about the Seahawks and the Patriots, and it's like, really? Yeah. And that's okay. I'm looking over at the group chat. Screaming like a girl about football. It's all about football. I'm only going to watch the commercials. The only thing I get enjoyment out of is the commercials. That's the comedy half hour.
So you're a guy that's obsessed with football.
No, I only watch the commercials during the Super Bowl game. I never watch them during the season, except maybe the only time I ever watch is Ohio State and the Wolverines, because they're just actual butthurt groups together. They get together and they're all butthurt together.
So what do you think about religion?
What do I think about religion?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. What do you think about religion? I don't know.
I'm not into it. But so what do you think about politics?
Well, as far as religion is, I just don't believe in the imaginary playmate in the sky. I don't believe that. I think the imaginary playmate in the sky is not out there, but in us. It sees through us. That's my opinion.
Do you have any thoughts on politics?
Politics? Yeah, they're all corrupt. Bunch of crooks. They prove it. Only people that want power are criminals. I mean, really, it's anyone that desires power must be, criminally mad, psychopaths.
What do you think about guys who tell other guys that men shouldn't be married because women are dangerous?
There's an interesting question. I'm asexual, so it doesn't really matter to me. But
Do you have a problem with the behavior of a lot of women today? Like how they treat men?
Well, a lot of them have been feminized. They've been brought up in school to be a feminist, and they believe that they're equal or more equal than men are. There's a little thing there where I've talked to these guys who are separated or divorced from their wives, and they always are telling me, she went out and is spending all this money, and I'm going to work for this money, but she's out spending it. And then you ask her, well, what'd you buy with that money? And she can't tell them. I had one guy tell me that he found out his wife was buying scratch-offs and lottery and stuff, and that's what she was doing with all his money. And I went, oh, I wonder why I'm not married, because I'm like the marriage counselor on most of these married people. They come to me with their problems, both sides. I mean, I hear it from both sides. When I was in the Air Force, it was both sides. I'd get to know these guys, and then I'd get to know their wives, and they'd be sitting there, and I'd talk to one for one time and another time, and they're both telling me the problems they're having with the thinking of each other. And it's like, It really turned me off.
Do you have any thoughts on anarchism?
Anarchism. What can we say about anarchy? Anarchy is basically the disbelief that we should have law systems because they're corrupt, and most of the time people will get along with each other if there isn't somebody out there making rules and regulations against each other, against each individual. Basically, anarchy is an open mind system where you go out and treat yourself, equally. And as far as that's concerned, you treat yourself instead of having war. Why don't we trade with other people? That's the type of thing, Let's trade and be friends. Let's not fight and be enemies.
So if someone, and I know I'm just throwing random questions at you, but I do find the answers interesting. But so if someone was to say that asexuality doesn't exist, like you'd be definitely arguing with them, right? And they'd be wrong, right?
No, I would take them evenly. It's just like religion. I'll sit there and agree with them and disagree with them on certain points, but I'm not just going to turn around like I go on these sites with Nadia, where she's at, and they have these religious guys come in, and all they want to do is prove their point that there is a Christ, there is a God, there's all this stuff, and you got to believe in it and follow after them like I do. And okay, go ahead, be on your way.
Yeah, it's just I don't know any asexuals personally, but I've talked to a few people who claim that they are, and I mean I'm not, so I feel like if someone just claims that they are, I don't know, like
it kind of depends on your definition of an asexual. Asexual loves women. It doesn't mind them. It just doesn't, if they don't come to them, they just let them go. It's almost the opposite. I'd rather have a woman come to me and turn on to me than me going out and doing the work and going after them. I don't want to be the wolf. Let them be the wolfette.
So would you say you're a pretty smart dude? Like, do you think that that's going too far and that's being too arrogant? Or do you think that it's good for people to be confident in their intelligence and for them to know that they're smarter than the average person?
I think the first, I guess, I'm just confident in my own intelligence, and I feel that other people could be just as intelligent if they just sat down and did their research. I mean, really, it's just a matter of research.
Do you think go ahead.
Just watching TV and absorbing everything off of the entertainment box isn't going to make you smart. I mean, period.
Right.
Do you think that society right now is pretty shit and there's a lot of things that could be changed and people are doing it all wrong?
It's not the people doing it wrong. People just not standing up for their rights and everything against government that's doing everything wrong. They're not following the Constitution. You have have Obama out there executive ordering, pencil whipping everything. That's not in the Constitution. The pencil whipping was only for District of Criminals, D.C., and not for the rest of the country. They have no right to step in and tell states what to do. Each state was made so you could go to a state that was of your liking and leave the state that wasn't of your liking. Like Colorado, if you like marijuana, well, move to Colorado. It's legal there. I mean, that's the type of thing that the Constitution made outright the right. The federal government shouldn't have any rule in anything outside of its own District of Criminals. They should stay in their own little 60-mile area and leave the rest of the states alone. Only time they just step in is when one state disputes another state. That's what the Constitution says. They have no right to go out and make laws and everything else for all states. They don't have that power. They've made that power, but they don't have it. That's the
Yeah.
type. Yeah, you see through that. You know, I mean, each state is what the state was meant to be. If it doesn't like, you don't like, basically that's what they stated back in the 1800s. If you don't like what you like or actually in early 1900s, if you didn't like what was in one state, you could move to one that did like what you like, and you could all like. Like minds grouping like minds. That's why we have states instead of one big country. United States is a misgender or something, a thing where we're not really supposed to be united. We're supposed to be together as the states of America. We're supposed to be America, not united. And per se, as the word is stated nowadays, we're all united together under Washington District of Criminals. No, we're not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be separated, where each state's almost like their own little country, but we all get together and get along together, I guess, would be the best way of saying it.
Have you heard of Stefan Molyneux?
No.
Do you think that Nadia is like crazy? Like you wouldn't, if you were hanging out with her or him in person, you wouldn't really be able to have a conversation because I don't know. What do you think about them?
I kind of just let her be what she wants to be. I mean, as long as it's not influenced on me, that's one thing. She wants to do what transgender wants to do, what they want to do. I guess they have the right to do it as long as they don't interfere with anyone else's life. I mean, there's just certain things you put down and you go, well, they have the right to do it. It's almost as if we're having natural birth control. So why have birth control? Why have abortions? We shouldn't have abortions. We should let nature do its course, where certain individuals do what they do. You're being transgender or homo or lesbian, and it's a form of nature controlling the population. That's basically how it comes down to. It's scientifically proven that when the population gets to a certain point, they start to do this to be a natural control of the population. I think scientists did this with a bunch of rats. They stuck a bunch of rats in a small area, and they started to become homo and stuff because there was no more room for new, so they started to curl off on each other as the same males, same female. And this is what happens scientifically. I
Do you
first
think
heard.
that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Do you think that spanking children is wrong?
Spare the rod, spoil the child. Have you ever seen a seal? They have this on film or video where a seal would be sitting there and the mother would be sitting there and the baby seal, the pup, would go out to an edge of a hole where the mother seal knows there's probably a killer whale waiting in wait to come up and grab that little seal and pull it under and eat it. Well, she'll first go over there, grab the seal by her mouth or whatever, like a dog does a puppy or a cat,
Well,
and
here, I'm going to interrupt.
move it away. Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you. Certainly, if I was dealing with a child who was about to run into danger, and I would physically restrain that child, maybe even hit that child if it was about to run into the street, get killed. But if you're dealing with a situation where like a kid isn't being quiet, or a kid has done bad in school, or a kid has maybe talked back to you and sweared at you, been completely disrespectful, I see it as harmful to beat them up or even spank them or hit them with something. I wouldn't understand the reasoning in doing that. I think it would be a harmful thing to do.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, that's kind of a harmful thing to do. But if the child is doing things that can be dangerous to itself, you will
But
really have the
that's
right.
not the situation most people hit a child. It's not that the kid was about to run into the street like a crazy person. At hitting the kid was the only way to get them to stop. Most of the situations where someone hits a kid, going back to like school, if you got a bad mark in school or you spoke out of turn, the teacher would have you bend over and they would hit you, maybe in front of everybody, maybe after class. That's not allowed anymore. Now it's more of a situation where parents are maybe spanking their toddlers for getting upset or whatever. Basically, I'll give you something to cry about. And I really, for like 99.999, pretty much 100% of the situations where that saying "spare the rod, spoil the child" would come into play, I believe it's actually you're spoiling the child by hitting them.
Oh yeah. Well, I told my first grade teacher she was old enough to chew tobacco because she was biting on her tongue or chewing gum or something while we were doing Dick and Jane. He took me out, and this principal, on the way back to class after he scolded me, put me over his shoulder and spanked me with his hand as hard as he could, and then put me down and said, "Now you're going to behave." Now you see how that works. I was doing it because my great grandmother did snuff, and she would be doing the snuff, the powdered tobacco, and she kind of chewed on her tongue and stuff after doing snuff. So I just looked at her right in the middle of, I was that bored. 140 IQ, you get bored in class. I'm telling you, you get real bored. I wasn't thinking I was being taught what I should be taught. I should have been taught more of how to do mathematics in my head than going out this long mathematics
Well,
procedure.
you were being taught a procedure just so you could be graded.
Yeah.
And so then you were being hit to try to teach you another lesson, but you weren't learning the lesson. You were actually losing IQ points when they attacked you. And you could actually look back and see that at this point, that you had your formative years and you lost IQ points because you were hit. And you had IQ points to spare, but a lot of people don't.
Apparently, because when I was in seventh grade, they thought I was supposed to be on the short bus because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care what they were teaching me. And I even spoke up in a fourth grade class saying, this mathematics is not what I want to learn. I want to learn what I need to learn in mathematics, not this how you're teaching it. And then later on, I came across those course books where they teach you how to do math in your head using adding and subtracting. And you can actually do division and multiplication in your head by using adding and subtracting. It was such a simple technique, it just blew me away. And I was going, this is what I was thinking when I was back then. And I went through this thing where they gave me the blocks and everything, put the blocks in place. And then they got to a point, draw a picture of somebody, of a person. And they saw that I was artistic. And then they went to my parents and said, he's just lazy. You got to make him work on his homework more and do this and do that because he's just lazy. Well, I was lazy, all right, because I was in a school where they taught stupidity. And it was a triple A school, and where I was raised at, supposedly the most taxes are taken out to teach the least, I guess. I don't know. But they said I had 140 IQ, is what they said. They said he has 140 IQ. I said, and I was sitting back away from him, and I heard him say that to my parents, and say he's just lazy. He needs more discipline to do his homework and everything. Well, afterwards, I actually did start doing my homework. I did it all at study hall. and I never had to do homework at home. It got to a point where I'm free. By the time I was in 12th grade, I had 3 classes to take, and the rest of the day was me. Yeah. And I had a B minus average is what I had, because I was still bored of what they were teaching me, but I was able to do it all. I started waking up going, well, hell, if I just make a little better grades. I never could do math until I got out of school. I always had C minus in math and stuff, because the way they taught it was stupidity, because they wanted me to do like they do with this core mathematics, and it's really stupid stuff. 20 steps to get to an answer. Hell, I can do it in 3 steps in my head. What the hell?
Have you heard of MGTOW, or do you know about the men's rights activists?
Men's rights activists? Really? We had to revert to men's rights activists?
So is that beautiful?
I don't know. I've never heard of it. I've heard of women's rights, but I never heard of men's rights. Heard of black rights, but I never heard of men's rights. I heard of everything except I never heard of Whites Act. I mean, I always thought about making a network called WET, because they came out with Beat. And I'm going, well, if they can come out with Beat, why am I not equally able to come out with WET? White Entertainment Television. Why? Why can I do the opposite of them and be equal with them? No, we can't do that, because that would keep you from fighting against the other group. See, it's all divide and conquer is what the government does. So you'll keep your mind off of what they're actually doing to us all. That's the truth about the matter.
If you could push a button that would make all drugs decriminalized, would you push the button?
Sure, why not? I believe that Ron Paul said the same thing. He says, why have it? I mean, just legalize all drugs. Why not? You know, people didn't use them before they legalized them, because that made them mystique, made them something that people wanted to go after and try. But when they were all legal, I mean, you could go over the counter and buy cocaine back in the 30s. Suddenly they made it illegal, and like alcohol, they had prohibition, and the next thing you know is everybody was doing alcohol and everything, because it was under the table. You had to go to, you know, those rooms and everything they had out there. I think the name of them now. Caught me off guard on the rooms they had. They're called, I'll think of it in a second or two. Just slipped my mind. They used to have places where people would go and drink alcohol back in the 30s and stuff when it was still prohibition. And as soon as it was released, the use went down. Everything went down. They actually had the women's movement brought in to say that alcohol's evil, you can't do it, and everything else. And all it did is increase the use of it. There's a lot of this stuff that people don't realize, that if they just left it alone, it wouldn't be a problem. The reason marijuana was illegalized was because the Mexicans were coming up here and when they were doing the picking and stuff and using it, and then the blacks got into it with the jazz and everything, the jazz movement, and it got to a point where they're saying, well, they're all doing these evil weed, they called it, and they came out with the movie Reefer Madness, which the guy actually directed and put that together. He said, I deliberately made it look like a joke, but people took it seriously. He deliberately made it look like a joke. And oh. Yeah. Marijuana is no more evil. Actually, marijuana is a God-given plant. I mean, it is a cure to a lot of problems, and they won't allow it. They still, I mean, Washington, D.C. legalized its use not as medical, but as recreational, like Colorado. And they still have the federal government saying, we believe this should be illegal, even if it's legal in your state. And you're looking at it going, well, what the hell is that all about? I only know is we're going to have a lot of stone Congress and senators out there in Washington District Criminals. Let's see if they get mellow and want to stop war and love. It's just a matter of time. I mean, because they just did that a few months, like 2 months ago or something, I think. They legalized marijuana in Washington District Criminals. And
So, are you, if there's some guy who's really pro-military, you'd think that that guy's an idiot, right?
the guy was pro-military.
Yeah.
Only if he's saying we gotta go out and kill everyone so they don't attack us. Yeah, I think he's insane. If he wants to defend the country and wait and see if they come here, that's another thing. These third world countries don't have the means, except that we're allowing them with the open borders to come up through the open borders, and they're just coming through. They're dressing up like Mexicans and coming up here with whatever. They could be carrying a nuclear weapon. We wouldn't know because the border's open, wide open. If we want to do something, we shut down the 123 bases overseas, bring them back home, and put them down there at the border to guard it of Mexico, because that's where the major problem is. And that would stop all that stuff. Everything would stop. There would be no
Do you
terrorists.
vote?
Huh?
Do you vote?
Yeah, I vote. But I don't have anyone to vote this time. Ron Paul's not going to run, so I'm not going to vote. Ron Paul was the answer and the solution. He knew what money system that we're under was the wrong money system.
What do you think of
We're under
what do you think of the Bush family?
a dynasty. What do you think they are? They want Jeb in there. Let's continue the dynasty. Next
Think
time the
they'll win?
Republican, we'll put the new dynasty in, Jeb. Yeah. He's related directly to the Queen of England as well as brother. Yeah, they're all related to the
Oh, yeah.
Queen. Obama's even related through his mother to the Queen. He's also related to Cheney. Obama's related to Cheney through bloodline. I mean, it's all royal bloodlines we're dealing with. We got to get the bloodlines out of there. I think over the centuries, there was only 2 people that were presidents that were in the bloodline. I think both of them got assassinated. And that didn't count Kennedy. 'Cause I'm not sure about Kennedy and his bloodline. But there was 2, like Coolidge and another one that died or something, or assassination. Abraham Lincoln, he was killed because he was going to send the blacks back to Africa. He really was. He said, I have this all set up. I'm going to free all the slaves and send them back to their home. Well, he didn't get to. He's going to send them all home. He said, you guys want to go home? You can get on the boat. We'll send you there and get to go. Well, he never got around to that.
Misogyny Man wanted to know if you believe in mental illnesses, things like social anxiety, ADHD, that whole spectrum.
About probably 80% of all the mental illness is made-up illnesses to make money off of new drugs from the pharmaceutical companies, and also for the psychiatry to have something to treat. And a lot of them are made up. They're just made up. There's stuff that's natural in human nature, and they turned around and made it a disease. Now, like hyperactivity, that's a natural thing for a kid to go through. Most of our presidents in the past were hyperactive. They became leaders. McCarthy became a leader. And they were all hyperactive. They were bored in school, bored to hell by the teachers, and they would act up because they would be sitting there going, I want to do something better than this. And so they'd come up with stuff to do. And that's basically it. I mean, really, it's taking, there was a guy that wrote a book called Young Mustangs, Wild Horses. And it was a book about all the drugs they're giving the kids today for, what is it, ADHA or whatever, and the other ones, HD, whatever, it's these different, mental illnesses they're saying these kids have, and they need to be on Ritalin and stuff to calm them down. So, and they end up not becoming leaders because of it. Takes away their I mean, it's just amazing how much money is being made by the pharmaceuticals and psychiatric corporations and stuff that are out there. Hand over fist money. Billions of dollars is going in these things. I mean, pharmaceutical company is so corrupt. They'll make a drug that has all these side effects, and you can see it on TV. They'll tell you, this will take away anxiety. It will keep you from being depressed. And at the very end, they're saying it will do exactly the thing it says it won't do. And when people get sick off of them and do something criminal or hang themselves or something, the relatives or the person sues them, they go, okay, $1 million, there you go. Because that's pocket change for all the billions they made off of it and still making today. It's a continuous money-making machine they got going out there. And they would just make new diseases up and everything just to treat them. It's like GMO. GMO is causing kidney failures. It's causing reproductive failure. It's causing all types of trouble from these genetically engineered plants because they're using glyphosate on them. And the glyphosate soaks the plant, so you're eating glyphosate, a pesticide, and you wonder why people are getting sick and cancers and everything. But the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors just love that because you have to come to them and be treated, not cured, treated. They never cure anything. They shut down people who say they have cures that they proved. They have documentation. I cured this person. They're walking today without having to be treated. They're walking around, and they just shut them down. There's many documents out there on that. And the FDA comes in because the FDA works for all these companies.
How old are you?
Oh, I'm 55 today. Look like I'm 40.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Are you anti-vaccination?
Oh, definitely. The adjuvants are so deadly in those shots. They even said the CDC just came out and said that we based it on last year. We made all these vaccinations up, and we found out that it's ineffective to the virus that's out this year. But go ahead and take them. We got to sell those, We got to sell those shots because we made them up and make money off of it. So go ahead and take that punch in your arm of aluminum and mercury, what do they call it, mercurial sulfate or something they use as a preservative in them. And yeah, take that mercury in. They'll dumb you down. You'll believe that Obama's God and start worshiping him and following after him. And, oh yeah, go ahead. Take these shots. That's what people have been doing. I try to convince people, don't take the shot. You're going to get sick off it. And everyone I told that to did eventually get sick throughout the winter season. And it's like, I never get sick. You know why? I don't take the vaccines. I take vitamins. I take vitamin C. I take D3. I take stuff that will actually make you healthy. And these people go out there and get those shots and get sick every year. And I just go, why? Why?
I've not been vaccinated in a long time, but I'm actually pro-vaccination, not because of like, the scientific community says it's smarter to get them because I guess statistically, like I don't know, I'm just assuming the scientific community knows what they're talking about. But one thing I will say is I don't even remember the last time I was sick, and I when I did get the shots, I would get sick like right after that. I don't know. There could be no connection there at all, but I just thought it was interesting how I've never been sick in a while, and but I am of the opinion that the shots are good, and it seems like people who
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm finding out more and more. The documentation's now coming out more and more. I mean, now there's 100,000 articles out there about the MMR, the monk's measles, rubella, or what is it called? It's the shot they give the kids, the 3-in-1 shot, and it's causing autism. I mean, the kid's perfectly fine the day before, happy and everything. He gets the shot, has this fever and everything over the night. Next day, you see him sitting in the corner, staring at the corner, drooling, and his mind's been burned out by him. So I just, and then they start trying to say, well, it was baby shaking. Well, a lot of that wasn't baby shaking. It was basically the shot did it to them. And these people went to court trying to prove that it was a shot, not them shaking the baby for any reason. And, because the shot will mimic something of the same thing of baby shaking. It will cause vessels to burst and stuff. It's just nasty stuff. I mean, it really is. You shouldn't have to take a shot, 3 of them together in one setting. It should be, we're not puppies. We're not cats or whatever. We're not there to get a vaccination and we're going to walk out of there okay. They got a different immune system altogether than humans. We need it over a period of time. Ending in line. Scared of getting sick. Well, yeah, I know. You got people out there scared of getting sick because the MSN gets this doctor up there saying, oh, come on, get your damn shot. And then you find out that she doesn't vaccinate her children. What is another doctor on there? It comes on like Fox and stuff and says, get your vaccinations for your children. He doesn't vaccinate his children. And then you start sitting back going, well, why don't they vaccinate their children? Must be something of a, his children are more healthier? What? Than the average person? What are they, Anunnaki or something? I mean, what are they, aliens? That's what gets me. I start looking at these facts that come out about the people who are telling you to do this stuff, and they don't even do this to their own families. They're, you got to pay attention to these things, and then you start realizing, man, that's why I keep from getting the shots and keep my kids from getting shots and everything because they get it. I mean, it's as ridiculous as it sounds. They came out on the news from doctors that they had on there saying that, yes, if you don't get the kids to take their measles shot and mumps shot, the ones that haven't been shot up will give it to your kids. Okay, then what's the purpose of this shot if your kid's going to get it from someone who did not take it? Now the logic starts running through your head if you can think, It blows me away. It just blows me away. I've heard them say that. And I'm sitting there going, I didn't hear that, did I? I just did not hear that. The kids that didn't get their vaccines at school are going to make the kids that did sick. Now, wait a second. It's the other way around. It's been proven that someone who takes the virus shot for the flu is actually contagious for up to 5 days after giving that shot. And they can give it to people who haven't taken the shot. But I've never heard of the other way around. That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's
Do you listen to Alex Jones?
I stopped listening to Bill Hicks for about a year and a half now.
I don't get that. Bill Hicks is a comedian?
Yeah.
Yeah, and supposedly Alex Jones took the real Alex, or Bill Hicks took the real Alex Jones' place back in 1996. And there's video out there on YouTube that proves it. I mean, without a doubt, the guy they show behind the microphone doing the show is skinny and everything, and kind of looks like Alex Jones does now. But within the same year, Alex Jones was out at Waco. And he had a round face, didn't have a skinny face, and within the same year, and he was kind of built more bonier, like Bill Hicks, and then there was ideals that there was moles on the neck of Bill Hicks, and they show that Alex Jones has a white spot in the same exact spot where he had them physically removed. And Bill Hicks actually went through some plastic surgery to change himself a little bit to look more like the original Alex Jones. No one knows what happened to the original Alex Jones, but he stepped in, and they also showed his last Bill Hicks comedy special where he came out in the black cowboy hat and the black suit and the black leather jacket, and he's talking about, these guys are saying that, oh, Bill Hicks, he's going to take on this type of thing. He's going to go for the commercial ideal, and he's going to take on, this. And it actually sounds like that's exactly what Alex Jones did. He took on the commercializing of products, and it was a good thing. And you have to see the last episode of Bill Hicks when he did the cowboy thing, when he's all in black and everything. And he comes out and talks about how these advertising managers were saying this is how he's going to do this and he's going to do that. And then you look at Alex Jones, he exactly did this and did that Bill Hicks talked about in this comedy routine. And, it's just weird. You have to kind of look at the pictures they show of how there's certain features that doesn't change on the normal person. The moles got me, where he had a place where he had the mole removed off his neck, where Bill Hicks had that mole removed to become Alex Jones, so he could cover him up. And then they had, what's the guy's name from France that does the financial report from France and everything? He has a show on RT. What is his name? He's on there when Alex Jones had him on the show. He's going, "You're Bill Hicks, aren't you? I know you're Bill Hicks." "Oh, come on, quit it." "No, you're Bill Hicks. He's Bill Hicks, people. He's really Bill Hicks." And then he sits there and goes, "All right, yeah, I'm Bill Hicks."
Do you think that...
got him into it.
Or did you have more to say about the Alex Jones thing?
Oh, I don't know. He seems to be he talks about everything, but he never talks about what he should be talking about. The Mossad angle of everything. He doesn't talk the Mossad angle. He's forbidden to do that. Whereby you have Mike Rivero, on the other hand, he'll talk about everything you want to know. He's an atheist. So, call What Really Happened. Now, whatreallyhappened.com is something to watch. You'll like him better than Alex Jones. Alex Jones is a fraud, but Mike Rivero isn't. Mike Rivero used to work in Hollywood special effects. He's the one that came out with the Foster case and said, "Look, the body's laying there. This guy just blew a bullet in his head. There was no blood around his head. The gun's still in his hand. We do that in Hollywood. That's a Hollywood stunt." And he came out, and he got fired from Hollywood for showing the pictures at work and stuff. And then when he was in Hollywood doing special effects, he still did some projects afterwards. He said he I think he said he worked with Avatar. He got to work with that one. He got to work with what is it called? The series. There was a series that took place on an island. I'll think of it here.
Lost.
Yes, Lost. He worked on that series. He got to work on that because he was in Hawaii, and they worked on an island just off of Hawaii, where he was. And so he got to work on that project. But otherwise, he was banned from Hollywood itself. He was just totally banned. But he was a good special effects graphics person. He used to do all the special effects graphics for the show. Probably if you went and looked through the titles at the end of actors and everything on each episode, you probably see Michael Rivero listed on there under special effects graphics and stuff. Because that's what he used to do in Hollywood. And he still tries to get little jobs as he can. But right now he has a radio show with GCN live, and he does that, and he's on Bamboozer. You get to that if you go to his website. He has whatreallyhappened.com. You go over to the
I
right.
want to gloat for a second. I want to gloat about something. It's completely off topic. But I'm going to gloat anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dimitri and MJ's channels are both losing subscribers. Ha 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 ha. Suckers.
I still listen to him. The Mike Rivero. I don't know about the others people. Other
MJ,
guests they have on it.
feminists. He sucks. That's Oh, this is Vention here right now?
What?
Vention, is that you, man?
No. It sounds like him. Reminds me of his laugh.
Vention.
Same laugh, yeah.
It's similar. You're a
How's
smart guy, though. You're one of
Spellfinder?
us. Are you married? Are you married, asexual man? Have you been married before?
No, never been married.
Well, guess
Nice,
what? Guess
nice.
what? You didn't know this, but
Yeah,
if you want to take on the identity of MGTOW, you are a MGTOW.
he's a red pill man.
I got the right tone. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you're a MGTOW. You didn't know it, but you've been going your own way. You've seen other people, they were all going with the flow. You went your own way in life.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I'm an occultist also. Studied all of it.
hidden knowledge is
Philosophy.
certainly good stuff as long as you're not a nihilist.
Oh, no, I'm not a nihilist. No.
All right, well, keep in mind what I'm going to type. You see the chat?
Yeah.
Keep in mind what I just typed in there. See that acronym? It stands for Men Going Their Own Way.
Men
Check it out,
going
okay?
their own way. Yeah.
It's a YouTube thing. You
Men
don't have to check
going
it
their
out right
own
now, but remember it, okay? Remember the
Okay.
acronym.
MG Toe.
Yeah, I want you to remember that. I want you to check it out maybe another day. I think you'll find some like-minded people.
Going their own way.
Spellbinder, you said that you're a cultist, or did you just say that?
Well, I studied
He
it for 40
In the
years.
sense that he looks into hidden knowledge. I don't know if he means he tries to summon demons and things like that.
Oh, no, I actually just study it. It's like a little thing I used to read every book I could find on it just to understand, because I understand the elite actually do this stuff, but like Bohemian Grove, you know.
Yeah, because the way XPAL was describing MGTOW, he's like, just check that out. It's hidden knowledge, but yeah, it's definitely not anything having to do with the cult.
Actually, that is a cult, is the whole idea of hiding knowledge.
From the masses
That
and
means
using it for themselves.
hidden knowledge would be something like maybe they understand how, I don't know, they understand how just something works. It could be some kind of psychological method, something like that. They understand maybe how just something works and they will hide it and keep it for themselves, and present one partial truth to the masses that's used to control.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. They've taken all these techniques from say Freudian psychology. His I think it's his cousin came to America and made us to believe that for breakfast you should have eggs and bacon and hash browns and toast. He actually started that. People used to just eat whatever they wanted to at breakfast, but no, the tradition is have eggs, bacon, and toast and whatnot.
So, Spellbinder, do you think that the dairy industry is a scam or something like that?
Well, there is a video out there, Not Milk. Actually, it's an organization called Not Milk, and they prove that they're putting hormone steroids in the cows, and people are drinking it, and it has side effects on some people to cause cancer and stuff, drinking the milk. Plus, they pasteurize it, which they got rid of whole milk. People were drinking whole milk, and it was a lot more healthier drinking whole milk if it was fresh than drinking pasteurized milk. I don't drink milk because I can't get whole milk. They've illegalized it. Illegalized whole milk. They were around these dairy farms, even the Amish in Ohio, and shut them down. They said you can't sell whole milk without being pasteurized. It's got to be pasteurized.
What about chemtrails? Do you think they're spraying aerosols in the sky to control the weather or manipulate the weather?
Of course they are. I have pictures of it. I have pictures of it. When I was a kid, I never seen that. I always seen the jet with real small contrail behind it, and it would go by, and that'd be it. Today, you have these things that go from horizon to horizon with a big smoky tail. I mean, maybe an additive in the fuel, but it's known to be barium and aluminum oxide and very, very small particles. And they spray that up there to control the weather. It's geoengineering of our weather. And they're blocking the sun down. The sun has dropped 20% luminosity on the Earth because of them in the areas they're sprayed. Plus, it's raining down. I mean, G. Edward Griffin has videos out there on there. What the hell are they spraying? And it has these scientists on there that's been doing research. Some of them are like, I guess they're studying pine trees and stuff in California up in the hills, and they're saying they found heavy amounts of aluminum showing up in the soil that they didn't have before this chemtrailing started to happen. They have samples from before, and now there's suddenly all this aluminum in the soil, and the trees are dying of it. They're geoengineering the weather and everything. It's very scary. If you think about what they're doing behind their backs. It's just, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on out there. A lot of stuff. UFOs may not be UFOs. They may be entities from an interdimensional plane. Right? I've just watched a video about that where this guy went out and interviewed these people with their video they had and was able to point out when they're catching UFOs in the sky, there's these entities on the ground that change forms as they're being filmed on video. And the guy took it frame by frame. You could see the thing fading in and fading out, fading in and fading out. And each time it would change in form. It's really scary stuff. I saw that. I went, whoa. That made me take a second look at UFOs being extraterrestrial. Maybe they're interdimensional. There was a guy in Arizona that was talking about the Indian carvings that they sent in this, what is it, the CCP, whatever, the civil engineering people they had back in Roosevelt's time. They started the new job, and they went out and blew up all these Indian rocks. They had drawings on them, and they were trying to bury something because they think, well, he believes that there was actually, the Aztecs came up to that area in southern Arizona in the South Mountains of Phoenix, and they buried this stuff so we couldn't find it. These little gold statues and everything that the Aztec brought all that gold and made statues to what they were seeing in the sky there. And they're saying, he actually pointed out something that I didn't realize about hieroglyphs that were there. When you see the men standing there with their spears and everything, they're like, or beings, some of them look more like aliens. There were deers or other animals, wolves or coyotes, and they're always looking up in a certain direction. And he says that's the direction of the porthole. He's talked to the Hano Indians up in Phoenix, Arizona, and they were saying that, yeah, those are actually, they're looking at where portals are, either in the sky or in the ground. They even said there are people that when they got there, moved into that area, really didn't know how to survive, and these lizards came up out of the ground and turned into humans and taught them how to live in the land in that type of terrain. They were actually in peace with them, and all this stuff came out in this video. I could look it up. It's called Aliens. What's it called? It's on Paranormal. Is it Paranormal Activity or another one? There's sites on Roku. You go on Roku and find these free channels. They're free channels. Just go to the store and Roku and go through there and look for Paranormal Activity. It's a free channel. You can get in on it. It has all these videos on there. And if it's that one, it's all the way to the left when you get into it. It's a video all the way to the left. There's that one, and there's another one on another channel, which is called Space Aliens and something else. But they're channels, they have a bunch of documentaries on them. They're just documentaries. Every one of these are documentary channels. And it's all the documentaries that you used to have to pay $19.95 for, but they're free now. And you can go there and watch them for free on Roku. If you don't have Roku, it only costs $1 to sign up to Roku, and you never have to pay again. But they want a credit card because they have, Netflix and other like HBO on demand type stuff, and you got to pay for that stuff. So they want you to have a credit card. I just used a debit card, had $100 on it, signed up, and that's all I did. And I signed up for $1.99, and you get in on Roku. So Roku's out there. And I have the Roku 3. I had to get that one because I'm hardwired into cable or into internet instead of Wi-Fi. I don't trust Wi-Fi. That transmits out several hundred yards. So I don't use Wi-Fi on my internet.
Do you know anything about psychedelic drugs?
Well, I know what I've experienced myself back in the day, but that was about it. Orange Sunshine, Eye in the Pyramid. Oh, those are good ones there for LSD. There's those back in the day stuff. About it with marijuana. That was about the only thing I ever got into. I got into the basically open your eyes and see everything type stuff.
Did you ever hear of dimethyltryptamine, the DMT?
Oh yeah, what's it called? The Ascara plant down in South America.
Ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca. That's how it's pronounced. Yeah, I keep forgetting how to pronounce that because it's weird. To me, it's a weird name for a vine.
Ayahuasca.
It's two plants they put together, and it allows the DMT to be ingested. And because otherwise you'd have to inject it, I think, for DMT, because it breaks down in your stomach. But they mix it with this other plant, and it allows it not to be broken down by the stomach, and you absorb it, and you have a trip. I think it lasts longer than normal DMT, because they said the normal DMT only lasts like 5 minutes. And they used to call it the heaven and hell drug.
About 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, it's called the heaven and hell drug because you either be in a idyllic place like Eden, or you could be in hell. I mean, depending on your position and thinking and everything at the time. So it's really choosy. It's almost like LSD. Mushrooms are pretty good. I always like mushrooms.
I wouldn't do ayahuasca because I don't like the sound of puking and stuff. I really don't like puking, so it's disgusting to me to think that you'd puke before you go on the trip.
I don't know if you puke on ayahuasca or it's as peyote. I know peyote you puke on that because of Don Juan and stuff. Yeah. I've read all the books of Carlos Castaneda, and I actually...
No, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I've read the books of Carlos Castaneda, the Teachings of a Yaqua Indian, and his other books. He wrote these back in the early 60s.
Do you, Spellblinder, do you create content?
Do I create content?
Yeah, here on this platform, videos for viewing. You regularly create content.
Something like this I do. I don't really do anything except...
Okay, so you do this you do Hangouts regularly, and you keep them up on your channel?
Usually. It's on my YouTube.
Alright. Just to let you know, I'm under a different name than I'm normally under. I'm going to type my name in the chat. I want you to check me out, okay?
Okay.
That's my channel name.
Okay. Wow. You have docs on that?
Yeah,
you make?
It's pronounced... I'll write it the way it's pronounced. That.
Okay. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and put that in. It's just that in the search. When I go to YouTube.
Yeah, my channel should come up. Alright, someone's actually put the link to my channel in the chat for you. Thank you, Misogyny.
Oh, wow. Got a cat-type figure. Is that like a cat-type thing, or your icon? I'm going to subscribe.
It's a picture of a man.
Oh, okay. It's so small.
It's all black and white.
Yeah, kind of like you have little ears sticking up out of your head or those horns. I'm not really sure. There's two white things on either side of your head.
Yeah, you'd actually be an interesting guest for my show one day if you want to come on sometime.
Oops. Hello?
It would be interesting to pick your mind about, have you been successful, or have you been, like, what's your situation now? Are you retired, or are you still working?
I don't know, he made a comment before that suggested that he might not be able to hear us or something, and it sounds like maybe that's the case.
Oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear you, but he probably clicked out
Right.
some, or I don't even know.
That's alright. He probably can't hear me right now, but he was hearing me before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, when I sent the link to join this guy's hangout, I didn't know he I didn't know he had any subscribers. Like, I'm looking at his channel and supposedly he has 2,000, I don't know, or 2,300. I don't know what that's about.
How many views does he get on these hangouts? A lot?
Like, I don't even know who this guy is, but No, they're like, well, it's like 100 views for each hangout, maybe.
All right, that's all right. That's not bad.
Oh, we lost him.
Looks like we're here alone in the Spellbinder Hangout, live.
I was totally not picturing.
He's a cool dude.
So does live doesn't mean on air, right?
No, we are
We're
on
on
air
air.
right now.
This is live, bro.
Oh.
In fact, if he comes back in, he can turn it off. But if he doesn't come back in, this will be on air till it runs out of time, which is about whenever it hits the 8-hour mark. But yeah, this is being broadcast out to any of his followers.
That's good that I know that it's live, that it's oh, it's just being broadcast, but it's not being recorded and uploaded to his
This is
channel.
recorded.
It's being recorded too.
All right.
Why, did you say something you didn't want to?
No, but I was gonna say some questionable things.
Yeah, he'll be able to come back in and like he'll be curious about whatever was said after he left.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna say it. I was just maybe gonna bring up the N-word, but I don't like to talk about that publicly.
Oh, he wouldn't care about that. He just seems like the kind of guy who's cool with that. He wants to make wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Like, I basically think that the average person is just an idiot. And like, as soon as we came in this guy's chat, he was talking about football, and he just kept saying football, football.
He
And I
was,
was like,
he was kidding. I'm surprised you didn't pick up on that. He was just messing around. He was joking about that.
I mean, I knew he was messing around after I heard him for a bit, but at the start, I really thought he was into football.
No,
And I was
no,
like,
I
oh,
could
this
tell
guy's
because
dumb.
he was saying it in a tone where it sounded like he was joking, and then he was talking about the commercials in a silly way. Like, I just watched the commercials, and he was like talking about he didn't know who was even playing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when he first brought up football, he's like, I don't know who's playing. Then he's saying football.
Yeah, but I'm totally surprised at this guy's views on everything. I'm like, wow, what are the chances? You know, in my personal life, I'm
He said
pretty much.
he has a high IQ, so you'd expect his views to potentially be, especially on things like sports, not a super fan. I just subscribed to him. And we're in the Thanks It's Thursday hangout right now. It's not Thursday, though. And this hangout has not been going on that long. Well, it's been going on for almost 4 hours, but basically, if we want to stay in here for another 4 hours, we can. We can stay in here past that, but we can be recorded. We can be broadcasting onto his channel for 4 hours. I like his avatar. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna be coming back. Maybe his computer just screwed up and he's restarting. But
If you type anything in the type, he won't be able to see it. Even if he comes in here, I don't think they can't see what was in the chat before they get here.
Right.
I could have typed that. But his audience will be unaware of if you want to type the N-word over and over again. The nigger word.
he's got videos from 7 years ago, so that sort of explains why he has a high subscriber count, or like, you know, somewhat high.
Yeah, if you're from like 7 years ago, you could have like 10,000 subscribers and then currently have like only like 50 views a video because it was a lot different back then. If my channel gets to 10,000 subscribers, it hopefully will be a lot different than a lot of the other people who are at 10,000 who got it like throughout like over the course of many years.
Where are you now? Subscriber wise.
I'm going to check. It grows slowly but surely.
It's grown a lot in the last
I'm
3
at
months. 3 months.
one